Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I want to, before we discuss today's press conference, I want to recognize members of the Department of Justice team who made our announcement today possible. With me today, and I'm going to mention a couple of other folks who aren't here, but with me today and available in case there are some questions are Mike Jorgensen, who is a Deputy Attorney General in the Department of Justice, along with Anik Bandri, who is also a Deputy Attorney General. Both have been very involved in the legal work that we're announcing, and I'd like to mention a few other people who could not be here but were also active. Natalie Monzo, who is a Supervising Deputy Attorney General. Kathleen Foote, who is our Senior Assistant Attorney General in the antitrust section of our department, and Ellie Bloom, who is a Special Assistant to the AG here at the Department of Justice. I want to recognize them, even though they're not here, along with a greater team that's been working on these issues. Our antitrust section is pretty busy these days, and so we could have had a bigger team here, but I'd be pulling them away from some important work. A car is, certainly in California, oftentimes the most important, at least one of the most important and expensive one-time purchases that families, individuals in our state will make. That car may be the link to securing a job, getting your education, keeping your family together. For many, it opens the door to opportunity. That's why it's crucial that the marketplace for our automobiles be fair and competitive, so that those opportunities aren't put needlessly out of the reach of too many. And when that marketplace isn't fair and competitive, here at the DOJ we take action. Today we are announcing the recovery of more than $23 million in settlements with 52 different auto parts manufacturing companies for antitrust violations arising from illegal bid rigging in their dealings with automobile companies. These conspiracies among dozens of auto parts manufacturers went back decades and involved efforts to suppress and eliminate competition in an industry that is critical to so many of our families. They would agree to rig bids for the different products that were being sold. They also conspire to fix, stabilize, and maintain prices of the units of the auto parts that they sold to auto manufacturers across the country. Those rigged bids and prices that were fixed affected many vehicles, both foreign and domestic models, and they created a less competitive marketplace and consequently higher prices for consumers. In the largest of the settlements, which we filed this week, and it was against a company called Denso Corporation, the state of California recovered $4.5 million. Denso was involved in these pricing conspiracies from at least as early as the early 2000s. But Denso wasn't the only company doing this. As I mentioned, we're announcing settlements against 52 different auto parts manufacturers. All of these settlements are the result of years of work by our office and the people that I've mentioned, all of that work to hold these auto parts manufacturers accountable. We put in the work because here in California, with some 22 million vehicles registered in our state, these companies' illicit dealings make an outsized, have an outsized impact on our state's economy and, of course, on consumers' pocketbooks. But these actions and others like them also have a nationwide impact. Following separate actions by the U.S. Department of Justice, some 46 companies, these auto parts manufacturing companies, pled guilty to price fixing and bid rigging in the auto parts industry, and they agreed to pay a total of nearly $3 billion in fines. This isn't the restitution to the victims of their illegal activity. These are just fines for having committed these illicit activities. These companies have also been sued by attorneys representing classes of indirect purchasers could be indirect purchasers, could be individuals, they could be auto dealers, and of course it also involved actions by direct purchasers, the auto companies themselves, as plaintiffs. Consumers can find more information about this action and seek restitution if they believe they were harmed through the Class Action Settlements law website that is available. I will repeat it for you right now. It is www.autopartsclass.com. One more time, www.autopartsclass.com. If you think you are one of the victims of these illegal price fixing, bid rigging activities, you purchased a vehicle that may have been or have parts that were part of this bid rigging or price fixing, well then let me just remind you that you have until the end of this year, December 31st, 2019, to file your claim. You can do so on that website that I just mentioned. Ending this type of anti-competitive behavior is a priority for us here at the California Department of Justice. Competitive marketplaces, safeguarded by vigilant antitrust enforcement, help working families by reducing artificially inflated pricing, especially for significant purchases like a vehicle. We will do whatever it takes to keep our markets competitive, our prices affordable, and consumers able to purchase the things that they need for their family. And that's why we took this action, have been taking these actions now against some 52 different auto parts manufacturers. And the result has been billions of dollars that these manufacturers, auto parts manufacturers, have had to pay, whether in restitution to victims or, as in the state of California's case, the $23 million in fines and penalties for their illicit activity.